Welcome back, everybody. Here is part two of an unplanned two-part series as I had some technical issues yesterday. So we're just going to pick back up where we left off, and let me crank open that awesome screen share. And we're going to lead off with Beyond the Road, a graphic memoir ready to print. And they have funded, so they are definitely going to print. So they won at 1,500, got 2,600. So it's pretty much a travel vlog in graphic memoir form, which is pretty cool. 110 pages here, and we get some samples here, how they're explaining they're into technical and gaming, appreciate the dice and little meeples there, along with the video game controller. They're not too much of an outdoorsy person, but they decide one day, you know what? Let's just hit the road, and they do. There's a little dog somewhere that we see quite a bit. And where's said dog? Don't make me a liar, Kickstarter. Okay, there's some vinyl pictures of said dog. And there is said cute dog again. Yay, dog. Dogs help sell things. I agree and approve. So, next up, we're gonna just keep on trucking here. We got three projects in the poetry section. Even though I'm not sure some of these are poetry, but let's open them up and see what we got. And let's get rid of the spam junk. Blah, spam. Hate it. All right. Foundlings plus Lost Roads celebrate 10 and 50 years. New and reissued poetry from uh, Belzamil, Brigham, Camus, Braithwaite, Mick Cochran, and Jerry Crittenden. Man, I should just give up saying authors' names, but carrying on. Looks like a pretty cool guy. Is that a printing press? What do we got here? Yeah, that is a printing press. Cool. And a bunch of dudes sitting around on a couch. I think they're way too close to each other, but okay. Um, just going through their works here real quick. Pretty cool. All right. So scroll back up, see we get a bit more information. Um, okay, so they're just combining it into book form from magazines. Neat. All right, moving on along to the Vanilla Adventure. Complete all-in-one fantasy RPG with everything you need to start playing now. We're not going to review this because that's not poetry. And The Great Landlocked Sea, a chapbook of speculative fiction and poetry. We will review this one because that's on brand. And they have met their goal, barely, with 5 days to go. So let's see here. Micro chapbooks. I realized that entirely an accident. I had written a collection of stories and poems dealing with the sea and places most don't think about. And the stones of a houses? And the stones of a house. Anyway, the Great Lakes or stranger places. While my manuscript obviously wasn't accepted, I liked the theming of it well enough to make it my first anthology chapbook, and that's how we got The Great Landlocked Sea, a collection of stories and poetries all under 50 pages. And of course, with the Make 100 challenge, we need a limited reward. That's where all the small size of books plays a role. Being that small, I can try my hand at binding it myself. Let's dust off these hand-operated spiral binder machines, which means each special edition is imperfectly unique. There you go. As the cover is made by myself, obviously not a professional, we are really going for do-it-yourself charming messiness aesthetic here. And you know what? I like it. I like it. Very simple. He's not expecting very much. He's going to do it all by hand. And he's funded already with a couple days left to go. Pretty neat guy. All right. And then last, um, I don't need to be backed by people that I follow. Get rid of that. And 102 projects for fiction. And you know what? There's going to be a lot of romance here. This is where the chunk of the video is going to be. Not romance, but just the fiction section itself. Go away, thing. No one likes you, thing. And let's take a look at just what strikes my interest. Uh, Okay, maybe. Well, I appreciate the on the nose there. Ah, something by Jane Austen, more inspired by. You know what? We're not gonna click on that one because that'll get me in trouble. Nope, nope, nope. None of this. Load more. Give me more. More, more, more. Nope, none of this. Nope, nope. Maybe. We're scrolling. A lot of romance. So much romantasy. Why is this woman in my arms? Where did she come from? Make her go away. Let's see. 1898. Curious about that. Oh, that might be cool. Scrolling. Just there's so much romantasy to sift through, man. Oh, that's cool. Greek myths are awesome. The caretaker. That looks. I like Nor. Open that up. A lot of the romantasies look like the same artist or same art tone, I guess. I guess it's a coffee cup or cell phone background. Anyway, this is ooh, a novella. Open that. Um, Not a lot of awesomeness as of yet. A lot of gaming material also in here beyond the romantasy. Ooh, witchy vibe. Okay. Go down a little further and then we'll start looking at these things. I know it's a little dull right now. Ooh, crocodile. Open. Sorry, crocodiles are awesome. And they must be opened at all times. It's a cookbook. Okay. Our poetry book made it in this section too. I'll go down a little further. Um, there's one I saw yesterday that may have just ended. There it is. There's what I was looking for. Sherlock. Because who doesn't like Sherlock? And this thing, because it's creepy. And all right, there we go. Reach the end. So those are the ones that struck my fancy. Let's see what we actually ended up with. I'm not saying I recommend them, but just title and imagery alone drew my attention. So reborn as a demonic tree. Ashlock wakes in the courtyard demonic sect as a tree that eats people. What else do you need to know? I mean, kind of in. I do appreciate the sprayed edges here. That's cool. Not needed, but appreciated. So, yeah, you're a tree eating human person who's a tree. Yeah. Okay. Foil stamps, two full color interiors, stone binding, cool. Hand drawn chapter headers, hand drawn color front pieces, full color printed page edges, and signed by the author. Let's see. Have you funded? You definitely have. 8K over. Cool. And 20 days to go. I mean, your premise is just amusing. Challenge coin. Okay, cool. What else do I get? Okay, so that's what the other version looks like. Demon tree. Concept art. Concept art. Oh, that's a neat little map. Add-ons, coin. Okay. Are there stretch goals? Oh, yeah. These are the stretch goals. Okay. I don't think there's much more here. That looks to be it. But no, I mean, you're turning into Trini people. Simple and awesome. Let's see, what do we got here? Assassin in the Alehouse, Deluxe Edition, Cozy Fantasy Book. An assassin trade, cloaks and daggers for mugs and wagons in a tale found family, quiet mysteries, and finding where you belong. And looks like a trilogy? Funded in 18 minutes. We've reached stretch goal. Whoa. Oh, yeah, they smashed it. 95K out of 10,000. Good for you. Where was it reading? Yep. Okay. Come enjoy the hospitality of the seaside town of Lornish Point. Meet new friends as you sample amber ale at the local tavern. Uncover mysteries in the shadows and taste pub comfort food prepared by a culinary wizard. Yeah. The kitchen staff Ratatouille meets the Hobbit in this heartwarming, feel-good fantasy. I mean, I get it. It's like a cozy fantasy mystery thingy, but okay. All right. New friendship, mystery assassins, found family, animal companion, slow burn romance, culinary wizard, fantasy tavern fun. Okay. Okay. Deluxe edition. Oh, we got him flipping the book around. Wee. That's fun. Special design cover art, interior illustrations, custom chapter heads, special head and tail bands, ribbon bookmark, silver foil, dust jacket, premium paper, printed edges, signed by the author. Okay. Extra deluxe upgrades. Okay. Okay, we get a cool little world map there. Oh, badges. We don't need no sneaking badges, but we got them anyway. Stickers and okay. This is where it gets really cool. Okay. This just is like a bunch of tchotchke stuff. I mean, I'm okay with tchotchke stuff, but I wanted more book. Okay. Stretch goals. Okay, we get cards, we get recipes, bonus stickers, bookmarks, interior art. Okay, that's a plus. That adds to the book. Vellum inserts adds to the book. More interior art adds to the book. More bonus art. More recipes. And then what else we got coming up? Trading cards, bookmarks. Brand new story. So this is what I'm really interested in, this 150K one. All right. So that's pretty cool. And again, that was Assassins in the Ale House Deluxe Edition. All right. So moving on. We get rid of the spam here. Well, shit. A midlife murder rom-com mystery. I mean, I'm not into rom-coms, but I do appreciate this title very much. Menopausal heroine navigates murder, friendship, and a grumpy sunshine romance in small town Australia, hilarity and chaos included. Um, yeah. I mean, somebody's got a good sense of humor. That's appreciated. Welcome to a story where midlife doesn't mean invisible. It means being unapologetically seen. Created by a midlife menopausal author starring a heroine who proves that being underestimated is a dangerous mistake. Includes a grumpy sunshine romance, a ride or die friendship, chaos of consequences, and a best friend who brings the shovel. I mean, if your best friend doesn't bring the shovel, they're no best friend of mine. Anyway, okay. Grief, friendship, attraction, and a body that's doing whatever the hell it wants, all while figuring out who she is in the strange in-between chapter of life. Okay. Yeah, so it's just a midlife mystery rom-com about starting over when you didn't plan to, leaning on friends who feel like family, and discovering that life doesn't end at 50. It just gets messier, louder, and a hell of a lot more interesting. Now, there's mimosas. Like mimosas. That's funny. Oh, I got some interior art there. That's neat. Appreciate the shovel keeps popping up. That's fun. All right. Okay, anything else? Oh, got some sprayed edges here. That's neat. If that's what that's supposed to be. Hope it is, because that is just concept art. All right. Okay. Now we're in Australian dollars. We are. So this lady is from Australia. That's cool. We get little postcards on brand, all of this. Cool. Is that makeup? We get a thing of makeup and a little drink cup thing. That's funny. I wonder how they're gonna do that with like biohazard stuff. Weird. Okay. Carrying on. Thinking too much about transporting. All right, let's go on to the next one. Well, did they fund? They had to fund. I don't think I mentioned that. 1,000 out of almost 15,000. Yep, they're definitely funded, and they got 39 awesome hours to go. Bring your shovel and your credit card, please. Constancy, a Jane Austen inspired romantasy and dragons novel, a special edition hardcover with sprayed edges, a second chance at love inspired by persuasion for readers of historical fantasy. 4,000 or 4,200 out of 7 grand. So they're funded, 125 backers, about 2 weeks to go. So it's Jane Austen inspired Adventures with Dragons. Itching to find a book with a quietly determined heroine who breaks free of a controlling family, ready to fall for a gentle hearted hero who knows he's made a huge mistake, but is going to dig the hole of a good intentions a bit deeper before he comes out the other side. Welcome to my fantasy version of Regency England, where magic and dragons are real, and the second chance with your first love waits around the next corner. Okay. I mean, I would have to look at the author to see how on brand they are imitating Jane Austen, but sure. Um, just more story stuff. Project. Okay. 400 pages. Wow. Printed on quality cream paper, Smith sewn binding, incredible character art, custom chapter headers, and part illustration. All right. Oh, illustrations are nice. All the eyes are doing that to the side thing. That's what the heads. Interesting. Now this little dragon demon thing is pretty cool. Like that. Oh, that rotate? That does rotate. Okay. Clipper sticker. All right. I'm less of a tchotchke fan and I want more book. Give me more book. Less tchotchke. This book seems expensive for what they asked for. What did they ask for? 4,200? Yeah, there's no way. So they made sure it was going to fund. It is coming out of New Zealand, though. So these are New Zealand dollars, looks like. Say that somewhere here. Yeah, New Zealand dollars. Okay. Which is lower value US dollars, but looks like they did the conversion up here for us. And they got a heart thingy from Kickstarter. I just have some serious questions about the validity of this, but the validity of the author's ability to imitate Jane Austen, as I know nothing about them. But I'm not going to judge them. I'm just going to click on to the next one. And we have The Devil in the Herd, a supernatural horror Western comic. I know it's a comic, but I like it, and I'm going to look over it anyway. And I'm sorry, you're just going to have to put up with it. And by sorry, I mean not sorry at all. A faceless man follows a cattle drive seeking justice for a long forgotten sin, but justice comes in many forms in the West. Ha. So, in the deserts of American Southwest, a man with no face and red eyes follows cattle drive seeking the soul of one of the cowboys. Jedediah is the only member of the team that seems to notice this faceless man falling behind their drive. A man, he comes to find out, is Satan himself. I like how all the cows, longhorn cattle, are demonic looking. The Devil in the Herd is a 50th page supernatural horror western that we hope will be the only first story told in this larger universe created by the very talented Caitlin Windles. If you're a fan of Hellboy, I am, classic westerns, the films of Roger Ebert, and American folklore, this one's for you. You know what? That time where it hits all the check boxes? Yeah, this is that point. But nothing will make you fall in love with this book more than the art itself, so let's take a look. Cool. Oh, yeah. Okay. Ha 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 ha. Head spinning cow that morphs into a demon. Yep, more check boxes. And we added a box 'cause I didn't know I needed this in my life, but apparently I do. Check. Jed, Bud, Jim, and Ethan. Ethan, your name's way too long. You need three letters like the rest. Except the devil. He can stay how he is. There's a hat. That's tchotchke. But there's a hat. I like hats. Design. What is this? Is it a handkerchief? I think it's like a cowboy handkerchief. Okay. Okay. And a t-shirt? All right. Yeah. Digital crap. Digital crap. Blah. Print plus pen. Okay. That's a cool little pen. You know, this is the same feeling that romanticy people get when they look at their stuff, but mine has the devil in it, so I win. Anyway, that's funny. Thank you, Mrs. Kent, for doing that. Anyway, carrying on. Okay. Spout UV. Wow. UV treatment. Oh, okay. A radio drama. Now we're talking. That's a cool stretch goal right there. They get that? I hope they got that. Yeah, they got that. Awesome. I'm gonna have to pull out my wallet after this recording. What else did they get? I didn't even read these all that well. I just saw that. Acknowledgement page, upgrade to perfect bound. We got that. Spot on UV treatment, got that. A radio drama. Very cool. Stickers, I don't care. Newsprint added to every print order. That's cool. They haven't gotten that yet, I don't think. Greenlit news story in the same universe. Very cool. Well, it said 7. What are we at? We were at 657, 19 days to go. The Devil in the Herd. Okay. I have to go on. I have to. Must not look anymore. Arrow of Fortune, the 1898 edition. That is a lot of backers with 5 days to go. 73K historical fantasy adventure with all the mummy vibes in a gorgeous vintage cloth bound foil hardcover edition. All right. Let's see here. I mean, the cover's really cool. Like tiger and purple. That shade of purple at least. All right. Fast-paced character-driven fantasy that puts the weird back into history. Cool. Want to dive into a magical romp through the 19th century India, complete with mythical artifacts, legendary demon haunted forest, and a nerd meets hellion slow burn romance. Good luck, nerd. She's gonna walk all over you. Allow me to introduce Arrow of Fortune, the third book in my Raiders of the Arcania series, and now you can get it in a Victorian-inspired special edition with all the exquisite vintage details. Cool. And that is a tiny sword for Mr. Glasses there. Okay. This one, these other two are green and this cool blue. Oh, it must have got a skull on it. I think that's somebody worshiping. I don't know what that's supposed to be. But anyway, carrying on. Oh no. Scandalous. Meet Ellie. Okay, meet Adam. Adam Bates. Cousin of Norman Bates, maybe? Ah, that's some cool art there. And Neil. Should know battling archaeology. Okay, meet Constance. Nobody likes the name Constance. You get anything else cool here? Uh, okay. Nameplate thing. That's neat. More cool cover art. Oh, slipcase. Ooh, map. An India map. I like this. Anything else? There's book in hand. Okay. Okay, more rewards, add-ons, stickers. What? This tea? What is this? This tea. Again, how are you shipping chemicals? All right. Makes 20 cups. More tea. I don't know if I want my stretch goals to be tea or not. I prefer more book than tea, but I'll let it pass. More cover art, or not cover art, just illustrations rather. There's a tiger, and again, his sword is tiny, but yeah, okay. Okay. And we're moving on. Get rid of this. What do we got? Solar Ponds, A Year of Mystery in 1919. Early cases of the Sherlock Holmes of Parade Street. Okay. Authorized by the estate, edited by David Markham, PSI. Okay. They have funded. 9 days to go. Asked for 500, have 4,000. See, 1919 Great Britain has just been through one of the greatest tests, a 4-year global war that has left 1 million of her young men dead and another 1.5 million wounded, some horribly for life. The surviving soldiers were shaken by a new kind of war with a vial of poison gas, attacks, never before used technology. At home, the social order has been overturned, with population still reeling from years of a Zeppelin and bomber attacks and brutal shortages and rationing. Now the country at peace is racked by riots, strikes, military mutinies, and violence everywhere. Meanwhile, Solar Pons, who spent the war working in England's cryptology department, begins the year by resuming his private consulting detective practice at 7B Proud Street, while in June, Dr. Lyndon Parker returns to much changed England after decades abroad, most recently his own harrowing war service in Egypt. Okay, so that gives us a little idea of what's going on, war torn England. Okay, more adventures. All right. So yeah, if you're a Sherlockian person, this may be for you. And we're going to go on to whatever this is. What is it? Monstrous, a Greek myth retold. From the creator of Cafe Latte comes a new standalone fantasy novel, a new retelling of an ancient Greek myth, Eros and Psyche. All right. Good morning, lovelies. I mean, that is a way to start an intro, I guess. Now I'm the creator of the urban fantasy TikTok series and now book series. I'm also a raging Percy Jackson fan and have always loved Greek mythology, so while I do research for the next Cafe Latte book, Heart of the Silver, I thought I'd treat you all to a Greek myth retelling, a Longi style. Okay. You know what? It's my show, and I just can't. So, going on to the next one. If you're curious about more, you can read on. All right. So, The Caretaker, issue 1 of 6, Norse supernatural horror. A detective and genius programmer hunt a ritualistic killer harvesting archetypal souls in Blackhaven, a Norse supernatural horror comic. Alrighty. Barely funded, 50 backers, 6 days to go. Asked for 2,000 or at 2,200. Oh, he's got a sickle. Neat. The Caretaker. Synopsis. All right. In the shadows of Blackhaven, a ritual is unfolding. 6 archetypal souls, one entity collecting them. Detective Joel Mercer is hunting the heart take killer, a murderer who removes the hearts of his victims and leaves the city paralyzed with fear. He turns to Ian Morgan, the brilliant programmer who created Hive, the world's most advanced policing AI. But as bodies rise, symbols repeat, and the two men discover the killings aren't random, and they aren't human. The ritual has deeper meaning, one that leads straight into the realm of demons and the supernatural. This is Caretaker #1, a Norse supernatural horror comic for mature readers. The Caretaker is 7, what, the Kevin Spacey and Brad Pitt and movie, meets Constantine, a Norse story about detective and computer genius hunting a ritualistic killer who serves a demon set in a Blade Runner style surveillance city. Okay, so we've got the harsh detectives, and then we have demon stuff from Constantine, and then Blade Runner surveillance thrown into a blender. Okay. I mean, I like all three of those things individually, but I don't know about mixing them together. All right. Artwork's good. All right. Well, they have cell phones at least. Do appreciate him smoking. All right. Oh, yeah, they did say mature readers, so there will be a little bit of nudity. Okay. Um, color. All right. I'm just showing the packaging material here. That it is shift shapely. All right. So that was that. What do we got here? The Dragon Slayer is a fantasy novella, the limited edition hardcover of a heist-style thriller to do the impossible to slay a mighty dragon in a world where dragons rule. Dragons do rule. All right, so 700 of 1600. 15 days to go. All right. They're hoping for 20 Canadian dollars. Oh, they're offering an audiobook too, but they haven't gotten it yet. Sad face. Broken Bounty Hunter. Okay. Okay, so he wrote the novella for fun in 2018, but after thorough revisions and an expert edit from award-winning author and brand new cover designs, I've been able to transform a book I once wrote as a hobby into a professional quality novella. The novella is complete with all stages of editing wrapped up. I've already handled proof copies, and I have to say, it looks even better than I expected. Okay. Have we explained what the book is about anywhere yet? No, we have not. I mean, I got an idea. Gonna go slay some dragons, but all right, here we go. Renowned bounty hunter, but success is drowned out by the haunting memories of his past futile sacrifices. Eager to distract himself from the pain, he accepts a clandestine assignment to kill the Duke of Satveen, the tyrannical dragon Krakaranora. We'll call it Bob, a member of the draconic ruling class that long ago conquered the land. Will Tillian lead his team to victory and liberate his people from their monstrous rule? What? I don't know if. I don't know about this one because we're all about him and then we go to the people. I don't think those two mix, but okay, I'll let it pass. I will let his despair blind him and lead them to an all agonizing doom. Teller knows the task is foolhardy, but the payout is too large to turn down. The plan must be flawless. One false move will lead the hunter's desperate team to brutal extinction by dragonfire. Okay. What are these? What are these? These look like Amazon reviews. They are. What are you doing in my Kickstarter? Okay, it's a 2018 review. Okay. That's a bit too much for me. Going on. What is this? Fascination, fantasy, and horror anthology with a witchy vibe. Macabre story collection of nature fueled magic, goblins, and dark fae. Witchcore, creepy cottages, haunted homesteads, and bespelled woods. There's a lot of mushrooms on that front cover. So let's go on. What do we got? Recipes, interior art. Okay. All right. Table contents. We're just going to read these real quick. Marrow soup, breaking a curse. The bone beekeeper, orphan light, yonder, the forgotten girls, instructions for feeding the thing beneath the bed. Mushrooms, orchid of faces, a thriving queen, summer song, Bianca, Pesio, and Ophelia navigate the near after. Pale harvest, hex offender. All right, scrolling up. In quintessential revolution, the birch behind the mirror lives another. Winter letters, winter horror haven or untitled. Spirits play, summon me when you need fire. Antlered bride, don't go to the mountain. Fallow, the deer returns to self. Thornfinger, an annotation of the last page of the Book of Herbs. The coven embraces changes in group text. In the dusk, feather girl at dawn. The Path of Slight Forgotten Gods, and The Poppet. That is a lot of stories. I think, what are they asking for minimum? Dollar. No, it's not true. Um, you can get the ebook for $10. So for, I don't know, was that like 20 or more stories for $10 PDF? You really can't go wrong. There's going to be at least, well, I hope there's at least one good book there. Going on to the next. Crocodile, Guardians of the Deep, Uncharted Tides, Book 2 of the Guardians of the Deep series by Blake Martinez. And if there is no crocodile, I will be sad. $700. They're asking they have 990. Okay, so here we go, right in the book, which is what I like. Luina earned her place among the Guardians, but the ocean isn't finished testing her. When unsettling change ripples through the sea, Luina and her friends are sent beyond the safety of the Guardian training into an uncharted waters. In search of the source of the mysterious bright, ancient energy stir, family alliance is strained, and a powerful force begins targeting the fragile balance between humans and the ocean. As the danger grows, Luna must confront her deepest fear that no matter how far she comes, she still truly doesn't belong. With the tides turning and lives at stake, she'll have to decide what she's willing to risk, not just to protect the ocean, but to protect those she loves as well. Because being chosen was never the hardest part. Surviving what comes next must be. Blah, blah, blah. Where's my crocodile? What? Oh, that's it. Oh, oh, okay. Well, they funded, and I hope there is a crocodile. Going on, Sherlock. Sherlock Holmes and the Molly Boy Murders Special Edition, where it all began. Holmes investigates a serial killer terrorizing the streets of London. Special edition hardcover. They're uh 30 $350 goal, and they've gotten 656. This is coming out of Australia, and I need some coffee for a sec. Coffee break. Delicious and carrying on. Where it all began, Margaret Walsh's debut novel, Sherlock Holmes and the Molly Boy Murders, set her out on her credentials as one of today's leading Sherlock Holmes uh, writers with a particular penchant for pitting Holmes against serial killers. I like it. Another 5 novels and a short story collection have followed, making Margaret one of the most successful Australian Sherlock Holmes writers. This special edition dust jacket hardcover celebrates the Molly Boy murders with a brand new cover and a foreword by celebrated Sherlock Holmes editor David Markham. Okay, so where are we? We got serial killers and we got Holmes. That is, I like the cover. I really do. Now, the Molly Boy murders, London, 1889, in a city still reeling from um, depredations of Jack the Ripper. Another killer arises. So, our serial killer is not Jack the Ripper. Stalking the West End and Marylebone and striking it at a seemingly unconnected group of victims, the murderer leaves fear and confusion in his wake. Mr. Sherlock Holmes, Dr. John Watson, and Inspector Lestrade face a case like no other they have yet faced, a case that will leave each of them changed and bring personal danger as they race against a mounting death toll to bring down the Molly Boy murderer. Okay. Uh, these covers aren't as good as what we got, but I'll let it go. Oh, they give the list of books in order to read. That's nice of them to do. It's a very simple Kickstarter. Um, I like it. I do think if they wanted more money, they need to do a little bit more fleshing out beyond this, just to make it a little bit more professional. The only thing I liked, if you're a multi-time author, doing this to help them buy your back catalog, unless you're offering your back catalog and then your backer's kit later, this is the play to do. I think that was a very smart thing they did. Now, our last book we're going to look at, Where the Small Ones Play. Oh, look, money going up live. So they're asking for 6,800. They have, or I'm sorry, $680, and they have gotten 1410. Where the small ones play a horror novella, a dark and disturbing psychological serial killer horror novella from the award-winning author and filmmaker Matt Shaw. Let's just let's just take this No video. Let's just take this piece of art in because there is a lot going on here. Yeah, yeah. This makes me happy on the inside. Maybe because I'm a broken individual, but I'm okay with that. And I like this "you scream" thing on our ice cream truck. Yep, definitely do. And our little zombie horde in the background. Okay, moving on now. Where the small ones play. The horror novella from the award-winning. Okay, they've said that. Synopsis. All right. On the outskirts of a sleepy town stands Raven's Hollow, an abandoned amusement park, a long shuttered, long whispered about, and long avoided. What began as a local legend has become something far darker. Those who dare to cross its rusted gates never return. And with each passing season, the park's atmosphere seems to grow heavier, and its shadows become darker. Beneath its broken rides and collapsing funhouse lies a growing graveyard of trespassers, and more chillingly, the missing children the town has been quietly mourning. And watching over it all, one man. Where the small ones play is intended for mature audiences. Artwork by Obscura Skinworks. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. And that's all they're going to say about it. Yeah, we're going to end on that because that's how we end things. But let me stop the screen share there. Yeah, so sorry for the technical difficulties. This is part two. Otherwise, that video probably would have been more than an hour long. Not sure how long this video is going to be, but yeah. I'll have links to all the Kickstarters down in the description below. Maybe you'll pick up some, maybe you won't. I just clicked on what caught my eye, and supporting new books is always a good thing to do. Um, Also have link to the public Discord and Patreon if you want to join our book club or just support the channel in general. The Patreon is how you do that. And I think that's going to do it for today. And as always, keep on booking on.